Hi, and welcome back to day number 26 of the 30-day mental diet. And once again, I would like to commend you for going along every single day of the 30-day mental diet. This is almost like going to the gym. 30-day mental diet is a mental gym where you're trying to keep your mind focused on for 30 days on only positive things. And in this day and age, it's very hard, especially at this time. Right now, we have a pandemic around the world, and the news is very, very focused on this thing. We also have markets crashing all around the world, and the news is very focused. And everywhere you turn, this is what the chatter is all about. I would urge you to focus your mind upon your goals and your needs and your desires, and focus your mind on these 30 days. We have 4 more days of the 30-day mental diet. I know we're right there at the finish line. So focus in as you push forward towards the Passover that's coming up, and try to block out the noise of the world right now, because there's no good news coming out. Okay, so let's read the introduction together, and we'll start day number 26, the 30-day mental diet. You can avoid old age. And the subheading says, you are as old as you think you are. So let's read the introduction. For all practical purposes, it is the nature of your thinking that determines the aging of your body. Because thought influences the function of the body, a negative pattern of thought can slow down or inhibit the action of any organ or process, so that it shows evidence of what is termed old age. Well, very interesting thought and interesting introduction, because it's saying right now that the age of your body is really influenced by your thought pattern, your consistent thought pattern. And sometimes you might come across a young child, and they say, oh, this child has an old soul, because the child may be very mature for her age, his or her age. And sometimes you'll find somebody that's very old, that's older, maybe in their 60s or 70s or 80s, but they're like a child the way they think. So, and you'll see that these things transfer to their body, because someone that's thinking young in mind is usually has more vitality and more activity going on in the body. So let's go on. I'm reading, the body is always young. A very interesting thing about the body is that the materials which comprises it, the various atoms which constitute the cells that in turn makes up the body structure, is being continually replaced. Various studies made by medical researchers indicate that at most, no part of your body is over a year old. There is a continual process of new material being incorporated in as the body, and old material being discarded. From this point of view, it is obvious that is not the body itself which ages, which is an interesting thing. So your body is only 1 year old. Every part of your body every cell of your body has been replaced. The cells that you had in your body last year at this time are no longer there. They're all been discarded, and new cells has replaced them. So if you're looking at your body and you're thinking about your body is really only 1 year old. So what is it? That's an interesting question. It's not the body that's aging. So if the body's not aging, then what is actually aging? So let's move on. The question is, in the paragraph is, what grows old? The materials which constitute the body is constantly new. The manner in which it becomes the physical structure of the body is in accord with the great law of life, which never lessens in its actions. At this point, you may find yourself confronted with a unique question. What grows old? And that was a question we had come to the point because we realized that the body is only 1 year old. If our body is only 1 year old, because the cells that we have in our body, our complete body, has been changed, what is it that makes, or what is it that's actually growing old? We also have to remember constantly that our body is a manifestation of the mind. The thought patterns that's coming from the mind, our mind, is what is manifesting out in the body that we have. So our mind and our body are one. We have found that to be true. So let's explore a little further. The body is a mirror. I'm reading that paragraph. The body is a mirror. Many people feel that the age of 50 is the dividing line, that this is the point when old age starts. And of course, the results is that at 50, they do enter old age. You seem to be as old or as young as you think you are. And it's quite an interesting thing about that when you say that, because some people, as soon as they retire, maybe they've been working all their life, they've been vital all their life, and they stop the work that they're doing that was giving them vitality in their life. Usually around 50, 55, people will retire. And when they retire, they instantly retire out of life. And next thing you know, we have to put these people in a box. Why? Because their mind has retired. If your thoughts and your mind has retired, then your body will follow. Remember, in the previous chapter, we had talked about ways to increase vitality. And we found that we get vitality by doing the things that we love. We should never stop the things that we love. And some people seem to intrinsically know this. And that's one of the reasons why you'll see some people that are doing the things that they love, they will not retire. Because they realize if their thought pattern stops doing the thing that they love, their body will instantly mirror that and deteriorate. And remember, we started out saying that the body, in this chapter, saying this paragraph, that this body is a mirror of the thoughts in our mind, the thoughts of whether or not we're old, the thoughts on whether or not we should be feeble, the thoughts of whether or not we should be walking with a cane, or the thoughts of whether or not we should be vital. Let's move on, same paragraph. At most, any point in life you can introduce into your body the evidence of old age by what you think about yourself. What counts is not what you see in the mirror, but what you mentally want to see in it. And that is a very, very interesting statement. And I want you to really, really let that marinate. What you mentally want to see. What counts is not what you see in the mirror, but what you mentally want to see in it. Some people, I've spoken to people that have lost weight, and they said that they had to first mentally see themselves as a skinny, fit person. I know a guy, when I was much younger, he was very big and muscular, had muscles. It looks like one of those guys that would pose for muscle magazines. And every single day he would work out, but he would constantly look at pictures and images of men working out with big muscles. And he saw himself within his mind, the mirror of his mind. He saw himself looking fit, having muscles like the people in the magazines. And within no time, this guy was a walking, muscle-bound guy walking around with a lot of muscles, and he could actually be in a magazine. He was a mirror image of what he was looking at in the magazine. What is on the mirror? What is in your mind? Do you see yourself at 50 years old, at 60 or 70 years old, with a lot of gray hair, in a nursing home? Somebody got to help you along. Or do you see it yourself at 70 as getting up and going out, doing a jog, and traveling the world and doing things like you were doing when you were younger? The body is just the mirror. So no matter what anyone says, because people will say that, they say you're not behaving like your age. Don't behave like your age. Do not do it. Do not call arthritis on yourself. Do not call high blood pressure and diabetes, and do not call sciatica and all these different things on you because you feel when you reach a certain age you're supposed to have these things. No, your body is only 1 year old. Your body is a mirror of your thought pattern. So think young thoughts, do things that young people will do, and your body will mirror the thoughts that are in your mind. Okay, let's go down to the next paragraph, a better picture. You need to establish a better mental picture of yourself. A picture of the way you want yourself to be, not of what you fear you will become. Remember now, we spoke about fear in previous chapters. And fear is using your mind in an incorrect way, because the things you fear, we had spoke about that with Job. The thing he feared had come upon him. Because when you fear a thing, that thought is also a seed, and it is a causative factor. And when you have fear, you also have emotion behind the fear. So it's not only the thought that you fear about, but you put emotion behind it. And anything you put thought and emotion behind, it must manifest itself in your life. So this is one of the reasons why I said over and over, at this time, during the pandemic, during the lockdowns around the world, it's important you police what it is that you're allowing to come to your senses. You have to police the thoughts that you are entertaining in your mind. Police the emotions that you are entertaining at this point, because you have an individual consciousness, but there is also what we call a collective consciousness. And the collective consciousness of the masses can affect you. And if they are living in fear, their fear can be projected upon you. And the calamity that befalls them can befall you. The same thing we had it before in a previous chapter when we were reading and we were talking about your doctor. If your doctor is not a positive doctor, thinking that he's able to help you, get rid of that doctor. Remember, like I said, you have an individual consciousness that you must police. But also remember that the people around you, the media, the nation around you, there is what we call a collective consciousness. And this is why you have to surround yourself with people that are positive minded and have a different vision. Not a vision of fear, but a vision of faith, and are moving forward to what they want accomplished. Okay, same chapter, a better picture. You should ignore the evidences of statistics that certain things happen to most people at certain ages. This is at the middle. And that's what I was talking to you about earlier. Just because a person is 70 years old doesn't mean that the person have to have certain ailments. Ignore those things. Those things are not for you. What is for you is health and vitality at any age. 80 years old, 90 years old, 100 years old. Health and vitality is for you at those ages. Okay, let's go to the last paragraph. Does thinking age? If your pattern of thinking that is largely responsible for the age you appear to be, then is there something in the nature of thought itself which ages? Most evidence indicates that the ability to think does not age or deteriorate. Rather, the contrary appears to be the case. Some research has indicated that there is an active maturity of thinking that can only be attained after 50, when most people are ready to give up and quit. Interesting thing. So what's saying here, your thinking matures at 50. Not your body, your thinking. But at 50, a lot of people are thinking about giving up. They just want to fall back in a deteriorated stage. And one of the things I must say to you is that if you are in your 50s or 60s, or you're coming towards your retirement age, be very, very careful of that word retirement. Because that word retirement is 1 foot from the grave, with permanent retirement. What you're doing, you're transitioning to a new vocation. You're making a change from this vocation to a new vocation. You will not retire. You should never retire from life, because retirement is when you're in the box. Okay? So very, very careful, because even though it may seem very simple, but just that thought, people have when you say retirement, people have a thought of you sit at home and do nothing. Maybe I'll go play some bingo once a week. I'll go to church. I may travel, but it's really a time when I should just sit back and do nothing. No, you have to be active in life. From the minute you come in this world, you should be active. Your thought pattern should be active and vital. You should seek out new things, go to new places, learn new languages, learn a new vocation, keep moving forward and keep growing. And as you keep growing, your body will mirror the activity of your mind. Okay, I'm in the same paragraph, does thinking age? There is also evidence that people who think in a creative and constructive manner live longer than others. That's what it is. Live in a creative way, and you think in a constructive manner, you're going to live longer. A youthful mind. The minute you cease being mentally alive, your body reflects this pattern of thought and begins to slow up and become sluggish in its action, and old age sets in. If you can train yourself to be active and productive in the way you think and maintain a concept of health, vital body, the body itself will readily conform to the pattern you have established for it. Remember I said that before? If you can train yourself to stay productive in your thoughts, keep that, and in the way you think, your body will conform to that pattern. A youthful, active mind is your insurance against what others experience as old age. Keep the mind active, folks. Keep the mind active. Every single day, keep the mind active. You don't keep the mind active, Alzheimer's coming, and all different type of ailments. Let's keep our thought patterns and our mind active. So now you have to think about, what am I going to do with this lesson? What am I going to do with today's lesson? If I'm retired already, am I going to get up and find something to do with myself to keep me active? Or am I going to say, oh, that was a really nice lesson, Elder Gail, that was really wonderful, and forget about this? You have the key here for youth. This is the real fountain of youth. And the fountain of youth starts with the pattern of your thinking. Let us read the diet together. Okay? So this is the diet. Within the mind of God and the action of the law of life, there is nothing that can age. All the material substance which constitutes my body is ever available to it, and the laws that govern my body's functioning never ceases their action. Life knows what to do and how to do all that is needed for the full expression of itself through me. I accept the action of life as what I am, continually and vitally renewing and sustaining itself. I no longer condemn myself by what I think to a present or approaching experience of old age. I now release all previous concepts of myself which have inhibited the normal action, not the normal natural action of vital living. Mentally, I keep myself alive, alert, and productive. The mind of God ever exalts itself. Its action as my mind is ever fresh, keen, and wholesome, and my body is a reflection of the nature of my thinking. I release my body from adherence to any negative thoughts I may have had about it, and I leave it free to conform to the great law of life that continually renews it. I want to thank you for tuning in to this lesson on 30-day mental diet. Once again, I'd like to let you know, if you like this lesson, please give me a thumbs up, and also share the video with your friends. And you might know somebody that really needs to hear this message as they're coming towards old age, or what they quote believe to be old age or retirement age. They may need to hear this, and get active in life. And I'll see you again tomorrow on the 30-day mental diet.